Hello everybody and welcome to Gene's Reviews. Reviews from a regular dude here in my car. If you're already subscribed, thank you very much. If you're not yet subscribed, please think about doing so. And make sure you tap that bell icon so you can be notified every single time I upload a new video. Also, give me a thumbs up if you don't mind. And if you stick around until the end, I have a joke at the end of every single video. Okay, now that we got that all out of the way, today we've got one from Most Amazing Top 10. This is unseen cryptid footage leaked from secret government files. So let's check it out.
Oh my God. Images taken by a photographer in 2018, but just released, of what looked like a creature spinning and rolling on the surface of Loch Ness.
A giant-sized wolf attacks a dog, a horrifying encounter with a large sea creature in South Florida, possible footage of a shape-shifting skinwalker, all this and more. This is some of the scariest leaked cryptid footage. What would you do if you were out on the water and you saw this?
What the f is that? Go! I don't know what that is, Dave.
This video was uploaded to the Residual Payments YouTube channel back in 2013, and what's freaky about this one is that you see all this movement on the water on the left side of the screen, and then boom, we get something breaching the water much further away.
Could it be just a whale?
Was this a pair of creatures, or more horrifyingly, just one big animal? Another thing I love about the video is the audible sounds of fear and
well, is it the
panic
ocean
coming
or
from
is
the
it just a
couple filming.
lake?
They sound genuinely shocked and freaked out. The story behind this one is that a woman named Patricia and her fiance Dave had been fishing in Sanibel, Florida on October 6th, 2013 when they spotted something in the water. It was a serpentine creature longer than their boat, about 20 feet or about 6 meters. They watched as the thing sped through the water before splashing up, looking like it had wrapped itself around something before descending back down into the water. The pair had also lived in Florida all their lives and had seen plenty of dolphins and manatees over the years, stressing that what they encountered here was not a manatee or a dolphin.
Could it have been a whale?
The levels of hell is this thing. Not a whole lot of information on this video. All we know is it was shot in Santa Fe, New Mexico back in the summer. Sightings of chupacabra-like creatures have been reported all over New Mexico, and by extension the rest of the southwestern United States, Mexico, and parts of South America. So could this thing be a goat-sucking monster or something else? Some say it looks like a skinwalker mid-transformation or just a very unhealthy looking person. Whatever it is though, if I lived in New Mexico, I'd probably be switching states.
It's pretty creepy looking.
Something like that around me. What do you all think of this one? Genuine? Hoax? Share your thoughts down below.
I don't know.
What you're looking at here is known as the Gable film, a piece of footage supposedly capturing a dogman creature on camera. It's a pretty creepy piece of footage. That old film grain quality gives it this very visceral, uneasy feeling about it. There's a lot of mystery behind this one, but the film was supposedly shot in Michigan at some point in the 70s. A man is being filmed on a snowmobile when the camera cuts to a hill. Crouched atop it is a dark, hairy-looking figure which begins bounding towards the camera, and then this happens. The legend of the Dogman dates all the way back to 1887 when a group of lumberjacks in Wexford County reported seeing this huge, hairy creature with the body of a man and the head of a dog. They described it standing on two legs, like a person, but with glowing eyes.
Sounds like a werewolf to me.
Claws. Since then, sightings have popped up all over Michigan, especially in the northern parts of the state. People claim they've spotted this eerie creature prowling the woods, particularly in areas like the Manistee National Forest. It's said to be about 7 feet tall, covered in fur, with the body of a human, but the face of a snarling dog. This footage here was supposedly taken at the Roswell crash site. Again, we have a nice, creepy,
It's really grainy
here. Now, if this footage is indeed real, it would have been kept under wraps for a very long time. There was a ton of secrecy surrounding Roswell, but is it possible this footage came from a whistleblower? I definitely love to believe it, but I have my doubts. I've always been fascinated by the Roswell case itself though. We all know the story. In 1947, a mysterious object crashed near Roswell, New Mexico. It was described as a flying disc, but then almost Overnight, the story changed and authorities said it wasn't a flying saucer and that it was a weather balloon. But in the decades since,
yeah, they're gonna say
whistleblowers
that.
have come forward saying they know the real story, saying they saw alien bodies being recovered from the crash site. Alien bodies that have been described pretty much exactly like the ones seen in this clip. Now, what exactly
Of course they're
going
gonna
to
cover that up.
Walking pairs of pants? Well, they've been dubbed the Fresno night crawlers, and they've been captured on camera more than once. The clip here was taken in Yosemite National Park. This next video was actually the first time the creatures were ever caught on camera. Take a look at this. It all started with a man named Jose in Fresno, California.
Really
He had
crappy
a security
footage.
camera set up outside his house, mostly to keep an eye on his lawn. One night, he was woken up by his dogs barking. He checked the camera footage, and that's when he saw this strange, white, almost ghostly figure walking across his lawn. It was tall, thin, and had long, spindly legs that seemed to glide over the grass. Jose was freaked out and woke up his brother to show him the footage.
I think that's fake.
His brother even said he found small, weird footprints outside, but by the time investigators showed up to check it out, all the evidence had been washed away. Now, the footage that initially blew up online has kind of disappeared. The only remaining video is this grainy clip taken from a monitor.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
There was another sighting in 2020 in Billings, Montana, on a home surveillance system, which also caught footage of these mysterious night crawlers. This one's a lot harder to see, but pay close attention to the dark right-hand corner of the screen. So what are these things? They don't really resemble any known animal, and they definitely don't fit your typical cryptid profile like Bigfoot or Mothman. Some people think they could be extraterrestrial beings or interdimensional creatures, or maybe more ghostly apparitions. But skeptics also say they could just be the result of weird camera glitches or that low quality playing tricks on our eyes.
Yeah,
This dude
I think
just
it's
happened
fake.
to spot a prehistoric wolf in his yard. Yeah, once it runs up to the normal sized dog, we really get the full scope of this thing's size. The thing looks like a dire wolf. Now, this is actually a timber wolf, a huge timber wolf, but a timber wolf all the same. The video was shot in Saskatchewan, and the man who shot it said, "I work as a fishing guide in northern Saskatchewan, and I shot this video on one of our trails around the lodge. We get a lot of bears that come around the lodge, but this year we had a black wolf that started to come around for a few days. We spotted the wolf through the window of the kitchen in the lodge, and I made my way outside with the camera. When I started to take pictures, the wolf left, then returned a few minutes later, and that's when Trigger, his dog, took after the wolf. The wolf waited for Trigger to turn away from him, and that's when he grabbed the dog in the back and threw her up in the air right in front of me. Dan fired into the air, and that broke the fight up. The wolf turned and left. We followed the wolf into the bush and shot again to scare him off. The wolf came back 2 more times that day, looking for the dog, we think. Trigger had a few good wounds and cuts, but she's fine.
Good.
now. This next video was captured in Russia. Take a look at this. The footage is from a remote
didn't see nothing.
area in Russia, located between the Ural Mountains and the Volga River, close to the Kazakhstan border. So in the video, we've got a car driving down a dark road. The driver and passengers are chatting in Russian, and if you listen closely, you can clearly hear the word Yeti pop up a few times.
Something ran across the
Now,
road.
At first, it sounds like they're just having a normal drive, but then we see what we see about 36 seconds into the clip. This blurry, shadowy figure dashes across the road right in front of the car's headlights. The moment it happens, the car immediately slams to a stop and the engine cuts out. Now, as far as what exactly is in the video, it's hard to say. The figure that dashes across the road is too blurry and fast to make out much detail, plus it's white, so it blends in pretty well.
Looks like it's on
From what
2
we can
feet,
see,
though.
It doesn't look like any normal animal or person. Next up, we have another strange video out of Florida. Take a look at this one. The video was shot in Edgewater, Florida. Joe Tiller and his wife April were out on the water near Menard May Park when they recorded a massive creature around 12 to 15 feet long. Now, at first, Joe thought that it was just a big manatee, but something was off about it. He described it saying it had huge muscles like shoulders on a bull. It was as if it was rolling its shoulders like a bear underwater. He also pointed out that they didn't see any fur, head, or limbs though. Tiller, who's lived in the area for 5 years working on boats, said he's never seen anything like this. The creature was even grunting, which freaked him out enough to steer clear when started heading
Could be
toward a nearby channel.
some
After
kind of
sharing the
marine
video
life that
online,
we
it
haven't
quickly
discovered
went viral,
yet.
but no one can agree on what this thing is. Some think it could be a manatee struggling at low tide. Others have even said it could be a black bear crossing the river, but Tiller went on to say, "I can't find any video online that shows manatees to look like this with rolling shoulders."
Maybe it's a
Well, this
giant
is nightmare
manatee.
fuel. I hate how large whatever this thing is, the fact that it looks slightly human, the glowing eyes, all of it is just the last thing I'd ever want to see walking through the forest at night. Not sure where this one comes from originally. If anyone has any more info on it, let me know.
That one
down
was
in the
kind of
comments.
weird.
All right, I'm gonna finish off with a fun one. In the Mount Rushmore of cryptids, the Loch Ness Monster is right up there with Bigfoot and whoever else you'd want to put on the list. I imagine Mothman would be on there. Anyway, take a look at this. I can't tell you how much I want this to be real. I don't know where this footage comes from originally. All I know is that it looks pretty convincing. But
Looks
obviously
pretty real to
someone
me.
made this was some very skillful CGI or AI or whoever knows what eye these days. But I can say this, out of some of the crazier cryptids like the Loveland Frog and the Flatwoods Monster, the idea of a surviving plesiosaur lurking somewhere out there in the vastness of Earth's waters isn't all that hard to believe.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
only did these things actually exist at one point in time, but there's a lot of unexplored water. Who knows what could be out there, really? I highly doubt there's a surviving dinosaur swimming around in Loch Ness, but in other parts of the world where there's more marine life to feast on, sure, maybe. With all that said, I've been your host, James, and I'll catch you, yes, you specifically, in the next video.
I find that kind of stuff really interesting. That last one, I don't see why it couldn't be like some kind of Loch Ness monster or something. Like he said, there's so much of the ocean that hasn't been explored yet. But that was most amazing top 10 unseen cryptid footage leaked from secret government files. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments down below. Now, if you made it this far, it's time for a joke. When I was a kid, I remember my grandmother calling me over. She said, here's $10. But don't tell your mom and dad that I gave this to you. I thought for a second and said, it's going to cost you more than that.